I always say, like, expectations, like, will set you up for
failure.
Yeah.
Disaster.
It sets you up for disappointment, because at that point, it's like, are you giving to receive?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, because unconditional loving is like loving without conditions. Like, you do it because you are whole within yourself. I know they always say, like, oh, like, your cup should be overflowing. It has to continuously be overflowing for you to be able to give.
Fill other cup. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Ebu, and we're back on another episode of, yeah, that's right, Runner on the Air. And I know who you see here right here. This is not a highlight episode. Actually, it is, but just for Penny today. Go ahead, share a little bit about yourself.
First off, my name is Penny. I am 27 years old, and I'm a senior here at CSUB. I'm transfer student from Taft originally. That's about my intro. Oh, I'm a double major, English and Religious Studies.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Did you, like, grow up in Taft, born in Taft, or what was that like?
Yeah, born and raised, small town, wasn't a huge fan. But I feel like I was definitely the odd, ball out of, even like in my school, with as simple things of like the way that I dressed. So I mainly give credit to my mom for that, because she very much let me express myself creatively. So I actually got, for my 8th grade superlative, I got craziest fashion.
Okay.
So I was like the only kid to wear like leg warmers and tutus and rainbow colored socks and suspenders, and I changed my style a lot. So like one day I would dress like boho, and one day I would dress like punk and 80s and that kind of stuff. So she also let me dye my hair. So
at what age were you doing all this?
I think the first time that I dyed my hair was when I was in the 4th grade.
Oh, that's
I
late.
had like a little pink strip. And then in the 6th grade, I had, and my hairstyles like always changed too. Like I would have it like short, or I would like keep it long.
That's cool.
So
you were like 7 doing all this.
Yeah. I feel like that is the main component of why I am who I am today.
Right.
And I've always been very artsy, always creative. So I've gained a lot of passions for a lot of different things.
Right.
Like I paint, I love photography,
that's cool.
I love fashion. I'm very much ambitious to the point where academics, I played sports.
Right.
My time in high school, I was very, very, very involved. That's why I'm very, very, very involved here as well.
Right.
So I feel like because thanks to my mom.
Yeah, shout out to mom.
Yeah, shout out to my mom for making me feel so comfortable. And I always say this, but it always kind of like makes me wonder why I was never like bullied. Like, I don't know if that's bad, but
that's
like
a good thing.
It is a good thing. Like, but I like my friends that I grew up with, like we were always like this.
Yeah.
And so even though I was the only one that was doing that, I always felt like good being part of something.
That's what's up.
But I think like the more I grew up and the more different passions that I had for so many different facets, it kind of confused me on what I wanted to do in life.
I see.
Yeah. So first I was a psychology. That's what in high school I was like, oh, I'm going to be a social worker.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, I'm going to be an artist because I love painting.
Right.
I tried doing painting for commissions as my job, fell out of love for it.
It's hard. It's hard to make money from the art,
Yeah. But also, like, painting for someone is different than painting original and having somebody want to buy your original, So, and plus my dad was like, you can't, like, be a teacher. That's, like, a stable source of income. So that's something all artists go through is, like, do I want to be financially stable? Do I want to go through this? You have to be, like, super, super passionate about it. And I had so many different things.
So how'd you land on, English and Religious Studies? How'd you land on that route?
I think because I moved out when I was 18, just because I was interested in the world and the world around me. I'm like
it's
big
a good
on
young age,
Yeah.
Big world out there.
Yeah, I'm huge on humanitarianism, and I think like going out in the real world and living it for myself, I really understood, you know, and like saw a lot of things. Yeah. And so understanding culture, right? Like what makes a person the way they are and the way of life. Yeah. So religious studies, religion's a huge part of that. So that's like, I travel, you know, and I like to write about it. So English and religion. When I went to Peru, I studied the culture there. When I went to Costa Rica, I was getting education. But
you've been to all these places?
Yeah.
All right, you got like a list? Like how many places you've been to?
I don't even want to consider Mexico because it was like Bali Cali. So I don't even consider that that technically was my first time that I used my passport. Yeah. But
that's cool though.
Yeah. It was, I wish, never mind. I was going to go into it. But I think like the people that you're with and the environment really mainly the people that you're with when you're traveling abroad has a huge impact.
Right. Yeah.
And so
that's very true.
After Mexico, I actually traveled alone. So I'm a solo traveler.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. So I went to Peru. I lived there for a month. That was an amazing experience. I was in a Spanish immersion. Still not fluent in Spanish, but I've been learning. I'm getting there day by day. I'm trying.
Un poquito, you know what I'm saying?
All day.
There you go.
Okay. So my Spanish really excelled in Peru, but I was studying the religion there, and you know, that's where Machu Picchu is, and the language, Quechua, and that kind of stuff. And then I realized I wanted to teach abroad, like if that would be super cool. So I went to Costa Rica, and I got my TOEFL certificate.
Okay.
And Costa Rica felt more like home in Cali because, you know, the beaches, but it's much nicer in Costa Rica, I will say.
I'm sure.
Water's warmer. Love the thunderstorms. Hearing the little
thunderstorms.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and the power would go out.
Oh, dang.
And then you just like wouldn't have like fan or electricity. So it was I loved it personally because I love social media, and I think it does really good for us in certain ways. It's also a form of expression, which I also use as a form of expression. But I think it's very important to kind of get out of your comfort zone, whether that's moving abroad, moving out of the state, or just dipping off of social media. Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
So now that you've, you know, gotten your taste of, you know, traveling and seeing the world, new things, like how do you translate that into, say, post-grad and what you want to do with your future?
Yeah. So I actually am going to open a publishing firm and produce cultural magazines.
That's right.
Which is also another reason why I got my TOEFL certificate, so that I can teach abroad, and wherever I'm teaching abroad, I can study the culture. That's cool. For my publishing firm, basically I would be the creative director, and I would find certain people who are professions in all areas, because like I said, all my passions, right? So photography, music, language, news,
group them all together,
history,
under one roof.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Each person, you know, I would assign them like say like this issue is going to be on Indian culture, and they would all do their area, whether that's music, that's language, that's fashion.
That's cool.
You know?
Yeah.
And they would write an article, they would travel, they would get, you know, pictures.
Get photos, make sounds.
Yeah. And then we would just continue doing that for different cultures. And obviously, like, humans progress consistently.
Yeah.
So if a culture is, you know, issued more than once, that's bound to happen, and it's necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of, like, the cultures that, like, you've, you know, taken a liking to throughout the years, or that you think is really cool? I'm gonna have to say, because I've traveled to South America, I will have to say, and a lot of the literature that I'm reading about is Chicano. That is, I think, right now my main interest. There you go.
Yeah.
Shout out to South America.
Yeah, shout out to South America. So, and like, there's a lot that goes on in history wise, like colonialism and religion and certain movements, you know, whether that was forced or it wasn't forced, you know, of wanting to conform, or, you know, hybridization and the blending of certain religions to create a new one. I think that's super interesting. But it's also, like I said when I was in Peru, like the language there, Quechua, like it's only spoken by natives and it's losing.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Wow. And because it's main, like now it's Spanish, you know, Spanish is necessary.
So like future generations aren't learning Quechua, or? That's
what I want to go back and to get more into. When I was there, we had a little bit of a conversation on the history of Quechua, but the numbers are dwindling in how many people speak Quechua, because Spanish is just so prevalent. Because it's, at least where I was staying in Cusco, it's the main religion there is Catholicism. So
I see.
Yeah.
Now with, like we talked a little about, you know, self-expression earlier, with everything you've seen, how much of that is a factor in these different cultures? Do they allow, like, you know, young people to express themselves in certain ways, or is it like you have to learn this language, you have to be this religion?
That's a really good question. And I don't know if I can answer it because of the small amount of time that I've spent in both of these countries. But from what I have seen in the cities that I have lived in, there is forms of expression, and there is, you know, in freedom. Like you see, like in Cusco, when I was told to travel there, like the customs and the traditions, you know, just be a little bit more preserved, you know. But when I was there, I saw other people who were not, and they were natives, you know. So I think it's just, I think maybe within that culture there is like a form of freedom. But as someone who travels there, like I'll always do my research and make sure that I'm respecting, you know, their culture and showing up. And also it's just safer, you know, like
especially when you don't know where you're at.
Like the stuff that I wore in Peru is not the stuff that I show up that I wear in America you know, or in California, you know what I mean? So I think like coming back from, and like in Costa Rica, what I was wearing was like a little bit more like provocative, I wouldn't say. Like it showed more skin, but that's because the weather is humid, and so it was more custom over you know there. So I think it depends on the country, for sure.
And other than South America, are there any other places that you've been wanting to visit or planning on visiting soon?
Well, okay. That's a good question, because I'm still deciphering that. Because I was recommended to go to Bolivia and study down there. And so as we know, I'm learning Spanish, and I do like to know the language before I go, because again, it's like a respect thing. Like I'm not there to
be a tourist.
I'm not there to be a tourist. I'm there to study and to be educated, and then pass all of this knowledge on to other people. So I am thinking about just sticking to South America and going to those countries first until I'm fluent in Spanish, because I lost my Spanish after I went to Peru, thought I was going to gain it back in Costa Rica. Costa Rica's more westernized, so they want to speak English. And so there's like a, you know, disconnect there. And I'm like, no, speak Spanish to me. So I think but I do really want to go to like Rome, because I think,
that'd be fire.
Like Greek mythology and architecture too, like that type of architecture is really interesting to me. But I think priority wise, like I have to think, what is my goal right now, you know? And I want to be fluent in Spanish, and I want to continue the research that I've already done in South America. That's so I think that's my focus.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And like from the time that you started, you know, your studies till now, how have you changed, like just as a person? Like how have you grown? Like, you know, because I mean, you said you started, you know, your self-expression journey from a young age, which is really cool, because I feel like a lot of parents don't allow that, you know, and it causes people to not be comfortable in their own skin once they get older.
Yeah.
But like from you starting from such a young age, how have you grown from then till now?
I think it has definitely helped in a lot of ways, but I think it has skyrocketed who I am as a person so far that it can make others maybe feel uncomfortable or scary about the things, about my ambitions now, like when it comes to my family.
Right.
You know, like they're nervous of me traveling abroad, or some of the perspectives and, you know, that I have on life are very much different.
Right.
Because like I said, I'm huge on humanitarianism. So conversations about politics and conversations about religion very much
the uncomfortable
defer.
Talks, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like,
which are needed though.
It's necessary, but I feel like you can't change anybody. You can just be an example.
Facts.
So I think in the ways that it's changed me is, first of all, I'm a very spiritual person as it is. So the connection with myself and the connection with divine really helps me carry myself in a way to where I don't take things personally, because I understand sometimes cognitive dissonance is broken out. You know, the way that somebody grows up, the way that they were raised, you know.
It's different from like everybody.
Yeah.
We're unique. Yeah.
So I think it's really expanded who I am as a person and my perspectives, and also the way that I move through life and the way that I handle certain situations, because you gain a different level of peace and awareness towards the world around you.
That's the big word,
and
peace. Yeah.
And it's reaction, you know?
Yeah.
Like
they say life is like, I think 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it.
100%.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think like one of the things that I do the most is self-reflection.
Yep.
You know, like I know we were talking earlier about having certain perspectives on life, whether that's what's in front of you, or if, you know, there was a moment when I was looking at my life from a bird's eye point of view, and that's how I helped my ability to respond is, okay, this is happening for me. It's not happening to me.
Right.
So I'm not going to take it personally on the person. Right. They're merely there to reflect something back to me.
Right.
And then also, like, that in itself gives you a form of grace and compassion for yourself as well as for others, because you know they're reacting from something within them.
Internal.
Yeah. And
absolutely.
So you just kind of learn unconditional love that way. You know, obviously within like boundaries in regards to yourself and what you allow, but you don't resent anybody, because you know everybody has their own flaws, their own insecurities, their own trauma.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I feel like with awareness and the ability to love unconditionally, you tend to stop expecting. I always say like expectations like will set you up for
failure.
Disaster. It sets you up for disappointment, because at that point it's like, are you giving to receive?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because unconditional loving is like loving without conditions. Like you do it because you are whole within yourself. I know they always say like, oh, like your cup should be overflowing. It has to continuously be overflowing for you to be able to give.
Fill other cups.
And then goes back to that peace.
Yeah.
You know, how are you doing that for yourself? You know what I mean?
This has been probably one of the most emotionally intelligent episodes I've had.
That's a huge compliment.
Nah, for real. Like, seriously. But check this out. Before we go, I feel like you're, you know, very authentic. You know, authenticity is something that it's hard to find nowadays.
Yeah.
But any advice to people out there that are maybe, you know, struggling with that self-expression, or how to be authentic and truly themselves without judgment?
I think using your free will.
Using your free will.
I think understanding that everybody else is wrapped up in their own lives and their perception, that to be authentic is to do what you want to do when you want to do it, as long as it hurts nobody.
Amen.
So
I believe in that. Yeah.
just stop caring. Yeah, it's all about the mindset. It's all about the thoughts. Just switch those negative thought patterns, replace them with positive, and reassure yourself. Mm-hmm.
Hey, she couldn't have said it any better, guys. That's Penny. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I said, very emotionally intelligent, and you actually taught me quite a few things today.
Oh,
so I appreciate that.
I'm glad.
And listen, if you guys want to be on this chair right here, go on the Instagram, click that link, sign up the sheet. Hey, we'll bring you guys on. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, comment, share, and yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Deuces.
Peace.